one first. Is it too bright?
And how old is he here?
He was a couple weeks old in this picture when we first brought him home. My name's Mariah, and I'm a nurse in San Francisco. I've been here for about 12 or 13 years, and our family is affected by pertussis, also known as whooping cough. And basically what happened is I was pregnant with my second son, and I started to develop contractions about 2 weeks early because I developed a cold. And I was coughing pretty hard. The contractions started, and he was born 2 weeks early.
Yeah, you say it was a cold, but the doctors thought it was a cold?
The doctors thought it was a cold. Before getting discharged, I basically demanded to see my primary care doctor. And they said, well, you're not sick enough to stay in the hospital, so you should just go to see your own doctor. The pediatrician that saw Dylan when he was born in the hospital said, your cough sounds really bad. I wonder if you have whooping cough. When he said that, it meant nothing to me. I had no idea what it was about, how dangerous it was. My symptoms were getting worse and worse. My cough was getting worse. I was having a hard time breathing at night. And I went to see the doctor 2 or 3 times. Dylan became kind of lethargic, and I was having a hard time keeping awake when I was feeding him. We saw a different doctor, and they said, I kind of hear something in his lung. Let's just get an x-ray to make sure he doesn't have pneumonia. We went to the hospital to get an x-ray, and he never came home. Every part of his system started failing. This is within hours. 12 hours later, he was being intubated with the breathing tube. He couldn't breathe on his own anymore. We walked in the room, and we saw them there surrounding him, working on him. And I can't tell you how hard it is to ask a doctor just to stop. And my husband and I just looked, and we were crying, like, I can't bear to see him suffer anymore. It was so horrible. And as soon as they stopped CPR, he died right there. And when you hold your child who's dead in your arms and you sit there, the shock is overwhelming, and it actually just takes over. I don't think we knew what was going on. My mom, my mother-in-law, my family came. They had a chance to hold him and see him. For some of them, it was their first time seeing him. I'll never get over guilt. The guilt of giving your child a disease that kills them. There's, my husband will tell me, there's nothing, you did the best you could. The best I could failed. And there's a lot of heartache with that. He was a victim of all of this. We're suffering, but he's the victim. And, I've been contacted by parents throughout the world that have had children die of pertussis. And we're all in on it together. This is not just an isolated area or an isolated case. It's all over. And I think it's easy for parents to say it's not going to happen to me. If you asked me when I first started having kids, or when I first decided to be a nurse, do you think you'll ever have a kid who dies of a communicable disease, a vaccine-preventable disease? No way. I didn't even know I needed a vaccine. I didn't even get vaccinated until much later. And I think that's the real issue. With you a couple pictures of Dylan, and also a poem that my mom wrote that it really means a lot to me. Just kind of gives us a chance to remember him and reflect, and to know that he brought so much to our life. It's called Only Then. When we open ourselves to the possibility of great joy and excruciating pain, when we dare to have children that touch hearts and bring hope to moments, when we dare to open ourselves to love and family, when we dare to live life in each twinkling, when we dare to love, when we dare to live, when we dare, when we win, then we are alive.